This is a warning. I am going to rant on this video because honestly, I'm so upset about what I see on this planet, especially in this country. There are things that are giving me pause about women and feminine energy, because really I put those two together a lot. And I talk about feminine energy from the perspective that we need to balance it. We have been in a masculine construct 2,000 years at least. And here's the thing, is that we as women have made so much progress, or it looks like we've made progress, marching, getting the vote, equal pay for equal blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing though, I really feel like right now we are I have said this for probably over a year now when I got this message to wake up the feminine on the planet, that we are on the precipice of this shift to feminine energy in the world. Well, that's going to be resisted by whatever means that has, because the masculine construct has been in charge. And I'm not saying that there's evil out there and there's bad, whatever. What I'm saying is I am not happy with the things that I'm seeing that are taking us backwards, literally taking us backwards. Feminine energy is your birthright. It is in everybody, masculine and feminine, and balancing it, and men should find their own feminine energy, and you've got masculine energy and you're probably living mostly in it. But here are the things that are starting to give me pause. And I think it started honestly with yesterday. I went to a meeting, a women's organization, business women's, and there was a speaker there, which, you know, I mean, it's a local organization and it's not as if she's a national speaker, but when you're in the front of the room as a speaker trainer, I know this, it doesn't matter whether you know your topic or not. And I'm not saying she didn't know her topic, but you are the expert. If you're standing in front of a room speaking, you are the expert. So whatever you say is going to be taken by whoever in that room sees that and perceives that. I've watched for quite a while now, especially since social media came so prevalent on the scene, that influencers, especially influencers of young women, are giving, honestly, the wrong message, right? It's not about what you wear, where you live, how much money you have, what kind of car you drive. I'm an abundance teacher, and you can have all of those things. But if you're hanging your entire meaning in life on that, that is not the essence of who you are. It just isn't. You're not just a mom. You're not just a wife. You're not just an employee. You are this beautiful package of authentic gorgeousness that we are trying to like ourselves by doing the right makeup products, by wearing the right clothes, by having a lifestyle that some influencer says that we should have. And so this woman is talking to these women, and she's a lifestyle, I guess she's probably calling herself an influencer. She is talking about how, you know, to dress and to do all those things. That's great. It's fluff. She's talking about goals and she's talking about business. So, you know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but she got to the end of it and some beautiful young woman asked her, well, what are the 3 habits that you started with? Because she's talking about habits, and she was sharing some of her habits. And the thing that struck me, and this is what I think got me so charged up, was just to begin to think about what's happening in the world. She says, you know, I wear sleep is great. It's important. She wears a face mask, not a problem, but she tapes her mouth. And I mean, I was trying not to express the horror on my face of what I was hearing, thinking, what? Why would you do that? And it's not so much about taping your mouth. The fact of the matter is that we as women, one of our feminine geniuses is communication. Now, you can tell me, and I'm more than happy to hear all of your comments in the section here, because I am not one of those people that says my way or the highway, but also I think what I bring is a way to look at things differently. The fact that you're covering your mouth, whether you're sleeping or not, that is your communication vessel, and it sends a signal. So the thing is what I think is really important to look at in this world is the messages that are coming across that you're either incorporating or you're misunderstanding. So what I did was, I thought it was strange, and I did some research. So apparently What it is shedding. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it did start on TikTok. And what it is women going on TikTok and showing all these things that they do at night to be beautiful in the morning. Oh my God. Okay, from face masks to mouth taping to these gadgets that they're wearing on their head, something probably to do similar to Botox. All the regimen and the beauty products that you put on. Every bit of that is designed to tell you as a woman, you need to do something externally to make you feel good internally. That's the bottom line to that. I don't care how you say it. And I've worn makeup in my life. I probably will still do it. I'll put some mascara on from now and again. Since I'm old and everything's gray, you can't even see my eyeballs. But the fact of the matter is the message to all women is you are absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, exactly the way you are. Nothing else needs to be done. And if you don't come from that space, then you come from a space of lack. And as an abundance teacher, if you're coming from lack, you're in need of something that you believe is not available to you. That's not the truth. So I started thinking about this going, okay, the message that we're giving to women and they're shedding and they're taking all of this stuff off. And I thought, oh my gosh, first of all, I can't even imagine wearing all of this stuff to bed, number one. To be honest with you, my beauty regimen, literally for my entire life, and I'll be 70 in 3 months. Of course, I look in the mirror and I went, oh, I got these wrinkles and people can tell how old I am and people perceive me sometimes as feeble because that's how we do with old people. But the fact of the matter is that my beauty regimen for my whole life has been, I don't even use soap. I wash my face with water and sometimes I'll put some sort of moisturizing cream on. That's my beauty regimen for my entire life. So I'm here to tell you, maybe I'm not Jane Fonda, I don't know what she does, but I feel like I'm in pretty good order considering I don't do anything. Because the fact of the matter is once again, we start to believe that our joy and our happiness and our something is outside of us. So that brings me to the next thing that I was watching, and that is recently, and I hate to be, this is not a political channel, but sometimes when I see things, I think, okay, this isn't about politics. This is upending feminine energy. It truly, really, truly is. I think the gentleman is the governor of Wisconsin, and words do have power. I say this all the time. And when we speak to ourselves in a certain way, that has power. But when you take and change the language of a description of a woman, like, there was a whole lot of things that he changed language-wise. But when you take and say in your documents for your state that the new word for mom is inseminated person, not even a woman, inseminated person, even though that's the only type of person that can actually get inseminated in the human species is a woman. I am absolutely appalled by that because we've gone through many decades of taking ourselves out of the context of being objectified, right? We're not objects. We used to be considered property not that many years ago in our own country, in the state of Texas where I live. But to drill this down to, number one, what are we doing with Mother's Day? Oh, happy inseminated person's day. Listen, you are a feminine energy. You are here to procreate on the planet. I don't have children, but we procreate in different ways. We can build businesses. We can build ideas. We can birth children, but we're birthing. We are the birthers of the planet. It's making me cry because it's so important. It's so important for us to recognize that this is being undermined. And the feminine energy is what is going to save this planet. Not women per se, because not all women have incorporated their feminine energy. But the feminine energy is the connection, the collaboration, the intuition, the compassion. And if we don't begin to see that this is being undermined in a very insidious way, very insidious, and stand up and say, no, we are for this feminine energy. We are for those principles of connection, communication, collaboration, compassion, and intuition. I was so floored by that. And I would say that everybody needs to write that person, that governor of Wisconsin, a letter and say, this is not acceptable behavior for anywhere in the world, especially in the United States of America. The thing that I think is so important for women to know and understand is that this sex trafficking for women is out of control. And if you don't know what those statistics are, I encourage you to do your own research, because I've done a video on fact checking your own life, your own beliefs. But women still to this day, you know, I don't care about the Me Too movement and all that stuff. It hasn't made a dent in the fact that men, and I'm not saying all men, please don't misunderstand this, but men that have power conversations with themselves are still taking women and putting them in their power over. And whether it's from the cartel, and I've lived in Mexico, so trust me when I say the cartel runs Mexico. I know this because I've seen it, not because I've heard it on the news. The fact of the matter is that the cartel runs Mexico, and that cartel is coming to our front door. They're in the house, and they are trafficking, sex trafficking, not only children, but women. This is another undermining of our feminine energy. So we have to be aware and diligent about how that's showing up and make a difference. So I don't want to start another Me Too movement, because that was more about sexual harassment. The fact of the matter is that to stand up for your feminine rights, your feminine energy is so vitally important right now. I can't even tell you. It's actually making me a little, well, nuts, because now I'm doing a video on it. The other thing that I really want to talk about, and I found this very fascinating, that the idea, listen, I don't care if you're transgender or not. That's not a conversation that this is about. Listen, I am as inclusive as a person can get. What I don't agree with is men, biological men, competing in women's sports, especially in a pre-college or college environment. It is absolutely undermining feminine energy on such a way crazy level. And the more we exacerbate it and allow it to happen, which I know that it's been, an executive order and all that. But I think one of the most amazing things was that was allowed to happen, and it set back women decades, because we have been once again violated. And if you think that is not violating women, then you need to go back and really understand how women have been violated, not only through sex trafficking throughout the years, being subjugated, being treated as property, but to violate a woman by, number one, putting a male body, and I don't have any problem with sexual organs, but the fact is that it is not appropriate for a small woman, a child especially, to be put and confronted with the genitalia of a man naked in front of her. I don't care what anybody says. That is bullshit. So we need to stand up, women, and support from a feminine energy perspective. If you're a woman's liber, great. If you're a feminist, great. But this is for us as women to not be set back hundreds of years, to be subjugated, that we are somehow not okay because we do not want to have boundaries for the space in which we operate. That is not acceptable. What that says to me is that is rape in a different way. It's emotional rape. And I am not kidding when I say I am hot about this whole idea. So for those of you, and I don't care who likes Donald Trump or not, I think that was one of the most incredible scenes that I have ever seen of all of these young women around him cheering for our rights as women, as feminine beings. And I'm telling you, this is so important. So important. Women, men, feminine energy. And I'm telling you, if we quash this feminine energy on the trajectory that we are going right now, this will take us off the brink. It's not global warming, it's not war, it's the idea that we are quashing down feminine energy. The feminine energy is healing the planet. It is actually healing the planet. And there are, I don't know who these forces are, but they don't want that to happen. And to really begin to look at, how do we play a part in that? Do we support the upheaval of this feminine energy? Or do we support the incorporating a feminine energy. I've talked about this in so many videos that feminine energy has just been quashed down and down and down because we've lived in a masculine construct. And the masculine construct is simply from the neck up. It is about fighting. It is about figuring things out. It is about being analytical. It is about the doingness. Feminine energy is about birthing. It is about being in the body. It's about recognizing your emotions. It's about communicating with yourself. It's about being in your intuition. And if you don't recognize that you have both feminine and masculine energy, and those are not in balance because we've been in this masculine construct for so damn long, that we have to break out of that. It is essential to everything that happens on this planet. I did this video on fact checking. You need to start fact checking your own beliefs. Fact check your own beliefs, because you don't have to believe me. I bring on all your comments, because I know there's probably people out there that are going to go, oh my God, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't really care, because I do know what I'm talking about. And I do know that this energy is so powerful and it is going to heal the entire planet. But it isn't if we keep allowing this circumventing to happen. And one last thing. Women communicate. That's one of our feminine geniuses. But having an emotional regulation, we are emotive creatures. What does that mean? Is we all have emotions. Some of us don't acknowledge our emotions. Some of us press them down and then they get stuck in the body, and that's a whole, abundance conversation. But the fact is that if we do not begin to regulate what emotions are coming up, they show up in things like this woman. I saw this clip of this woman. I think she's a representative for us in our government saying Donald Trump. And then right behind it, she says, oh, I never say that in public. Please don't tell my children that I did that. Well, she's just hit national, international news. So I think that cat's out of the bag. But the fact is that we as a community must come together and speak civilly to one another. We have to be able to learn to communicate, and that is the essence of feminine energy. And when we yell and scream and carry on and call each other names, that will never, ever, ever accomplish anything. So if there's one takeaway from this, besides all of this subversion of feminine energy, it's that you learn about what emotions are coming up for you, allow them to be dealt with in your own emotional regulation, and stop yelling at each other. I know I was really hot at the beginning of this. I wasn't yelling at anybody in particular. I was just like, literally, it's so emotional for me that women are letting this happen to us. And it is so, so important that we look back to where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. Whew. I hope you liked it. Queen of Magic out.